got going there, Mark?
Well, the next thing we got to talk about is Lois Lerner and the IRS. You know, there was a little congressional investigation where...
A little investigation. I understand it's been going on for quite a while.
It's a phony scandal thing where people are thinking the IRS rigged the election.
The IRS rigged the election?
Like this.
Wait a minute, I thought it was a couple of rogue guys out.
No,
it's the same guy.
Well, have another election.
Well, hey, let's do it
Wait
again.
till 216.
Wow.
Wait till 214. Pull some more cards.
We need some more cards.
Maybe you'll get lucky.
Well, you know what's funny about this? The IRS actually targeted all the groups that were raising flack against our 3-card guy.
Yeah, well, the thing about it with 3-card, with Obama, I got to say, let's have a drink. Okay? Used to be, let's have a drink here. Used to be that when, well, wait a minute, let's finish this one first. It used to be when we had, you know, the IRS went after, the Internal Revenue Service went after Al Capone, remember that?
Yep.
Well, now the IRS is on the payroll of the mob.
And you know what's funny about that?
Yeah, so it's a mobster
that's our guys.
paradise.
Now we got control. There you go. There we go.
No one's going to take the South Side from us.
That's right.
So, yeah, now we got, okay, so this is a little thing about
what better way could we go?
The 501c4 were these people that wanted to campaign. The Supreme Court ruled that, hey, people, not just unions, right, who are basically paid by the mob, right? They're mobsters and paid by, basically.
Of course they are.
Basically, they get...
We've been running those since the old days on the docks. We know that.
Days. So we've been, not only that, but the beautiful thing about the mob is that it runs off taxpayer money.
You bet it does.
And so... but
how else are we going to get funded?
But when you got the KGB working for you, or the Keep Gangs
how
of
can you go wrong there?
Basically, it's not really tax money, it's really protection money.
Well, here's the best part about that protection money. We keep getting paid. No matter what the circumstances are. And if the economy's up, economy's down. We always get paid.
Well, wait a minute. In times of disaster, we need more money.
We need more money.
Protection. Okay, now the thing about protection money is that if you don't pay it, you end up in cement overshoots.
Yeah, not only that, but you also end up losing all your emails.
You lose all your emails.
Okay. And wait a minute. Let's talk about that for a second. What happened to those emails that it linked the top IRS all the way to the White House?
Well, let's say that someone said, wait a minute, the election was rigged.
3-card man.
No matter what I pick, it's always the same guy.
It's a rigged election.
It's a what if someone said that? And what if I had these cards? And let's say somebody like Z Street sued the IRS and said, we want to look at the cards. Well, what's a good mobster do?
He gets rid of the cards. And that's funny because this is what the IRS claims happened. The dog ate their computers. Their homework was destroyed. Unfortunately.
So anyway, that's called spoliation. Spoliation of evidence. And what's funny about that is they claim, well, wait a minute, nobody was interested in these cards before we ripped them up. It only changed who lead the whole planet.
Yeah, but I understand it was within 10 days of the subpoena to get the cards.
Well, no, that was
vanished.
No, wait a minute. That was David Camp. The Congress sent a letter asking for all this information 10 days before it was destroyed. But Z Street versus the IRS happened in August of 2010, and they were destroyed on June 13/11. So almost 10 months later, right? So, and when you have a lawsuit, right, what spoliation says is if you have a lawsuit, you're supposed to keep all the evidence that might be relevant, right? Mm-hmm. And there's supposed to be a litigation hold on destroying anything.
Yeah, but that's after a lawsuit's filed. There's no lawsuit filed.
No, there was a lawsuit filed. Z Street versus the IRS was the lawsuit filed.
So then, in fact, you're talking about a violation of not only the law, because we know that there's a law within the federal government that you're
supposed to keep all your evidence.
You're supposed to have a record of every email, every letter, every document, anything that's ever been transpired within any given government. You got to have a paper trail. So what happened to all that paper?
Oh, they lost all that.
But what happened to all that electronic paper?
They lost that too.
They lost that too. But I understand it wasn't a matter just the dog ate the emails.
But not just Lerner's emails. There were 7 other.
Yeah, and that's funny. Those are the other people that she was emailing back and forth to. How are we going to destroy the election and ensure that President 3-card gets the win?
Well, anyway, Obama 3-card is no longer president. Remember, he's mob boss 3-card.
That's right.
Because we call him president, we're in trouble.
Yeah,
okay.
But who's that buddy of his in Chicago?
And actually, I think it's a sign of disrespect to call a mob boss a president. Because look at how he works.
Call him that.
Has he ever enforced a law he didn't like? No.
No.
He's broken more laws than he's made.
Well, you know, the Supreme Court's batted him down 12 times as unconstitutional executive orders.
He broke the laws he made.
He made, you know why? Well, we're now, I don't want to get into the Affordable Care Act, but we're very clear that when he started changing the rules
Well, no, I'm just
after
saying-
the fact,
No, but the point is,
we have to pass it to read it.
He's broken more laws than he's made.
That's correct.
So he's a gangster and a
Yeah.
mobster. Okay, and so it's an insult to call him a president because presidents have to listen to Congress and the Supreme Court.
Oh, you mean
and have
follow
to-
the Constitution, the three equal branches of government.
and have to have
the
free,
executive, the
free
judicial,
elections.
and the legislative.
It's a
but
big
what
hassle.
happened to the three branches of government?
These free elections are a big hassle. Now, if you look
Well,
at if
free
you look-
election's a hassle.
Yeah, if
The only
you-
reason it's a hassle is that if I don't get my guy in office, then it's a hassle.
Well, look at Assad, right? He's a president, right?
President for
Assad.
life.
He's a president, and he had an election. He got 76% of the vote,
That's amazing.
and all he had to do was dump a little chlorine on his opponents.
Oh, he did, well, he burned them in a
He
pit.
burned him in a pit.
Yeah.
And like Obama worked, all Obama did was go send the IRS stuff. I
Oh,
think
you
I'd,
send the IRS.
I think I'd rather have chlorine gas on me than the IRS.
You know, the IRS, I don't want anywhere near me. I got enough problems as that is. But here's the deal. The interesting part about all this is
Let's
that-
have a drink.
Yeah, there we go.
Anyway, so it's the mobsters are in charge, and it was kind of silly that, and actually some people actually believe that he's president and it was an election, but it's nonsense.
Well,
Anyone who believes
here's the election that never happened.
There's a sucker born every minute.
Yeah, you know, the interesting part about all
Let's
this.
have some of that bottle. Let's
No,
try some
this
of that.
bottle right here. This ought to
right.
make you feel like a new
Yeah,
man.
Yeah, there we go. Now
There you go.
Now the gangsters are in charge.
Yeah, that's right. And you know what the best
Okay,
part
and
about
also
all that is?
they went after Senator Grassley
Every
too.
dollar in this country belongs to us.
It has every damn dollar.
And you know how many trillions
Not
of
only
dollars?
every dollar, but every dollar that anyone's going to make for the next 30 or 40, 50 years
It's
belongs to us.
already, hey, my great-grandkids are going to make it to the top.
And also Lerner went after Grassley too. The
Man,
Senator
you know what you know what she
They were
wanted to do? The only thing that stopped her was her left-hand woman who said, we better not go after him because he's a sitting senator. Why are we going to investigate somebody that's in office? We don't want anything.
Okay, so anyway, what you've got, so the people, the Z Street is actually the only actually free thing left in what used to be the United States. Now this happens, Z Street was an Israeli group, a Zionist group, and they were
But Israel bad.
no, but
Under this administration,
not only that,
Israel
no,
bad.
they were put into a
Palestinian good.
they were put into a tag team, right?
Yeah.
So they were labeled as a terrorist group for being Israeli, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so they're the one who sued way back then, and they're the only reason any of this thing's coming out because they got a judge who said, first of all, the IRS always says, look, we're immune, sovereign immunity, you can't touch us, right? It's like we got basically we killed all our witnesses, you
Right.
can't talk to anybody. But a judge ruled that, hey, wait a minute, no. Z Street does have standing because it's a constitutional question. It's not a
Yes.
question of how much tax you wrote, right?
Correct.
And so this is possibly the only threat we've got as mobsters is Z Street, right? And so that's
Well, I'm going to put a toast to that one. I think it's time for us to move on to our segment.
Okay.
And on that